Mr. Blackhammer 2021. Gonna make my WWE Raw review. Gonna talk about what happened on Raw last night. Somehow my camera going too slow. That's weird. What's going on here? Yeah, so as I was saying, long live the new king. I will go to Monday Night Raw. I will talk about the news and rumors of WWE. CM Punk reporting what back in WWE. If they'll do business with CM Punk, life after CM Punk for All Elite Wrestling. I will talk about that. Um, I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Alright, so I will go through everything about what happened on WWE television last night on Monday Night Raw. Somehow my phone's going kind of slow here. I don't know why. Gonna show you guys what happened on Monday Night Raw. Or maybe there's too much space. I don't know. Alright, this is what happened on Monday Night Raw. The show opened up. Now, as you guys know, they showed the preview of what happened at Payback on Saturday. We did get Jey Uso open the show. He came out there, got a big pop. He reunited with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, they hugged, they embraced. You guys know the history between these two. Now, I don't know what it's all leading to, but Jey Uso, is he going to get a singles push? Maybe he'll be with Sami Zayn. I don't know. I'm curious what he's going to do on Raw. Hopefully, it's not going to be Sami, Jay, and Kevin against the Judgment Day. Hopefully not. I don't want to see that. That's just lame. Also, also the Monday Night Raw gets a new update. They got a new intro that looked pretty solid. We got a Nakamura promo. Nakamura broke Seth Rollins. So after Jey Uso and Sami Zayn in the ring, they walked up the ramp. Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle came out. Drew McIntyre had a mean looking stare down on Jey Uso. Same thing with Matt Riddle. Because history in the bloodline. McIntyre got screwed by the bloodline by Solo. And Matt Riddle got screwed. You got to remember, Matt Riddle lost his tag team partner Randy Orton. The bloodline and Reigns took out Randy Orton. And they lost the tag team titles. So Matt Riddle got blown up with Jey Uso. There's a lot of heat. And backstage, Adam Pearce did say that there was going to be a trade for Jey Uso. I'm glad that they told that. I'm glad they told a storyline here. Now Cody Rhodes on Payback, he pulled a few strings. He got Jey Uso on Monday Night Raw. Adam Pearce said that there will be some trades here. So I guess we'll have to wait till next week to see who's gonna get traded. Because Jey Uso going to Raw and someone going to SmackDown. A lot of people think it could be anyone, but I think we all know it's probably gonna be Cody Rhodes. And I think it's needed because Cody Rhodes, it's the only way for him to get to Roman Reigns and finish the story. That's what this is all leading to. Cody Rhodes gonna get back to Roman Reigns, finish the story, and win the title from Roman Reigns. But after that, we did get Matt Riddle and Drew McIntyre versus the Viking Raiders in a tornado tag team. There was a pretty good match. It was decent. I didn't like the ending when, because Viking Raiders were about to win. Kofi Kingston came out. He tried to help out. He went for the Trouble in Paradise. He accidentally hit Matt Riddle. Viking Raiders took advantage. They did their finisher, their powerbomb on the table to Riddle, and won. And after the match was over, it caused Drew McIntyre to get angry, frustrated. They had a bad day 7. Bad days. So it looks like they're setting up Drew McIntyre to turn heel. Oh, here's the bad day 7. He questions Kofi's apology. It's all leading to Drew McIntyre turning heel. That's what it's leading to. Drew McIntyre will turn heel. Hopefully. I think he should turn heel, but if Cody gonna go to SmackDown, they may not do Cody and Drew. I think it's needed for Drew McIntyre. I said this last week. Drew McIntyre should be a top heel to feud with Cody Rhodes or Seth Rollins. I don't know about Cody Rhodes if Cody's going to SmackDown. We'll have to wait till next week because um, on Raw, Cody Rhodes was not on Raw yesterday. So they did say he'll be on Raw next week, so I guess we'll announce. And we'll see what happens then. All right? All right. So after that, I think we got the Nakamura attack Seth Rollins. It wasn't that good. It felt kind of lame. Seth Rollins came out. He talked about what happened at Payback. So Seth Rollins, the champion, wanted to give Nakamura a rematch. Nakamura, the challenger, the heel, said no. This didn't make any sense. It didn't make either one of these guys look good. I mean, Nakamura is saying no to a challenge that Seth Rollins, the champion, is trying to give him. He said no. Rollins went down the ring. They brawled to a point where Ricochet got involved. So Nakamura and Seth Rollins, they're fighting. We see Ricochet. He got involved. He tried to get involved in this match. Ricochet told Adam Pearce he didn't like because he thinks he's owed something after his match with Logan Paul. After Logan Paul won by cheating. So he got involved here. We got Nakamura and Ricochet. So that match was a pretty good match. I think the match ended in a DQ. Nakamura grabbed a chair and got himself disqualified. It was a pretty good match, but in the DQ. So I think Ricochet will get involved in the title picture. It could be Rollins, Ricochet, and Nakamura at Fastlane. Make the match unpredictable. Give Ricochet an opportunity. Um, we did get a promo package with Nakamura. Nakamura will decide when he fights Seth Rollins again. Probably a Fastlane. And then from the end of the feud. And then we'll see where the Seth goes from here. After that, the other thing that was also interesting was the Judgment Day. They came out, they won all the gold. Um, the one thing I didn't like was the promo that Dominic cut when the crowd was booing him. The crowd was booing Dominic when he addressed how the Judgment Day had all the titles, all the gold. It felt like that WWE is manipulating the crowd reactions every time when Dominic speaks. And I said this for weeks now. I'm kind of over it. It getting stale, getting kind of repetitive. It's actually getting really annoying. It's the same old shit. Every time Dominic talks, the crowd boos him to the point where a lot of us think that I think they're piping in fake crowd chant for Dominic. I don't know why. Just let Dominic speak on his own. We don't need the boo for Dominic. It felt like someone backstage turned on the crowd reaction and turned them off. It wasn't that good. But either way, we Judgment Day was out there. We got JD McDonough. He came out there. He gave Damian Priest a new Money in the Bank briefcase. It's now purple and it says Senor Money in the Bank. It's a way to elevate Damian Priest, build him up. Damian Priest he had a lot of momentum. He tag team champions. He's been winning matches. He's being built up. They're telling a great storyline with the Judgment Day. I'm just waiting to see what happens next. What's the next story for the Judgment Day? I think the story is now is JD McDonough to be included in this group. That's what I think they'll lead. I thought that it was gonna be Priest failing. Hopefully not. But they're still teasing and they're still setting up Damian Priest to cast in on Seth Rollins because during the brawl that Rollins had with Nakamura, we saw Priest and Rhea Ripley looking backstage. Rhea said not yet to Priest, so Priest won't cast in yet. I think they're waiting for the right opportunity. Priest should have the briefcase for a long time to be elevated, to be built up, and when time is right, then he'll cast in on Seth Rollins. And based on what's going on with Seth Rollins and the back injury, I think it's the perfect opportunity for Priest to cast in. I think when the time is right, then they're waiting. I don't know if it will be a fast lane or maybe a Survivor Series. I don't know. So we have to wait and see. Now, after Priest got the briefcase, we did get Sami Zayn came out. He challenged a member of Judgment Day, but JD McDonough he stepped up and said, "No, you're gonna fight me." He Sammy wanted to wrestle Dominic, but because Dominic helped them win the match. But JD McDonough he also took charge and said, "You'll fight me." So we got JD McDonough and Sami Zayn later tonight on Monday Night Raw. After that, we did get Raquel Rodriguez, smiling Raquel, because well, they came out smiling. Still the backstage segment with with Raquel, Chelsea, and Adam Pearce. They booked the match. Now Piper Niven, who was the tag team champion with Chelsea Green, Piper Niven was not here tonight. They said she had a minor injury, so she's not gonna be here tonight. She may be here next week, but it's a minor injury. So Chelsea and Piper are not being stripped of the tag team titles. Piper Niven has a minor injury. She will not be here tonight. Maybe it'll flight problems. She couldn't make it, but no, she has a minor injury, so she's not gonna be here tonight to team up with Chelsea and defend their titles. So she'll be out for a while. Hopefully, we'll see her back. But anyway, we got this match with Raquel and Chelsea. They went 2 minutes. It was 2 minutes. Raquel came out, won the match in 2 minutes. Not much here, just 2 minutes. After she beat Chelsea in 2 minutes, um, she cut a promo and said she wants a rematch. She told Adam Pearce that she's gonna get a rematch with Rhea Ripley for the Women's Championship next week on Raw. And she said that Dominic is barred from ringside because Dominic got involved at Payback in their match. Now, with him being barred from ringside, Damian Priest, Finn Balor, they can get added. JD McDonough can get added. They can interfere in the match and cause the match. It doesn't have to be Dominic, but Dominic barred from ringside. Next week we'll see Raquel and Rhea for the for the for the rematch for the women's championship. I think they should do it again at Fastlane, or they could build up someone else like Zoe Stark and Shannon Baszler. We also got the match Zoe Stark and Shannon Baszler. This match went 9 minutes. Pretty good match. I don't think they're over yet. I think we should really change Shannon Baszler's entrance back to her old one. Because she's not getting over. She's not getting a reaction with that theme song. Zoe Stark, she's not getting a reaction after being paired with Trish Stratus being a lackey to her. Thank God they ended that storyline. But where's Zoe gonna go? Hopefully she's still being pushed. Now, we also got the Miz and this mid TV. This was the worst part of the show. This was the most annoying part. Miz comes out, does mid TV. He pretends that he's talking to John Cena. Takes out an invisible John Cena. Hits a invisible skull crushing finale. This was awful. This was actually terrible. We are not 10, 7 years old. This was not funny. Now, the Miz said he's going to continue with LA Knight. Don't know why. I thought it was going to be a one-off, but he's going to continue. So the Miz will be on SmackDown to continue feud with LA Knight. Maybe they'll do that fast lane and we do a stipulation. I don't know. But Jesus Christ, man, this was not funny. The Miz, this segment was awful. The Miz is pretending he's talking to John Cena. They played John Cena's music, and the cameraman went down the ramp. He thought John Cena was running the ring, but there was no John Cena. The Miz was actually thought John Cena was there. This was awful. It wasn't even that funny. Anyway, we'll move on. Now, as we said, Adam Pearce informed Jey Uso that someone will be traded, and there's gonna be a lot of heat to it. I think it will be Cody Rhodes, maybe Tommaso Ciampa. Since we saw him on the show, he talked to Adam Pearce in the back. Maybe they performed DIY. I don't know. Hopefully. We also got this promo with Dominic attempting to recruit Jey Uso in the Judgment Day. I don't want to see that. There's no reason for Jey Uso to be in a fasting again after he left the bloodline. This is all to put Jey Uso as a singles ad on TV. Now, finally, the best thing on the show was the main event, Gunther versus Chad Gable for the Intercontinental title match. It was a great match. It was phenomenal. A great main event. Throughout the show, they showed a lot of video packages of the history of the Intercontinental title from Honky Tonk, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, The Miz. They showed Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. They showed Booker T. They showed all the history, all the people who held the Intercontinental title. Now, Chad Gable, his family was in attendance. His wife, his daughters, his son, they were in attendance. They sat front row. I think the match went like maybe 17 or 18 minutes. Cause it started at 9:40. No, I mean the match started I think at 10:41 and ended about 11 I think or 11:59. About 18 minutes. I think that if this match was on Payback, it would have been given a lot more time and people will care about it. People will care about it. It'll be given a lot more time. So I love the ending. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of crowd reaction. Chad Gable had the ankle lock. He locked it a few times. Gunther sold it real good. The ending we got. Gunther did the sleeper hold. Chad Gable reverted into a pin. Gunther dropped Gable on his head. He hit the power slam, hit the clothesline, pinned the 1-2-3. People were shocked. We saw how Chad Gable was feeling reacted. His daughter was crying. His wife was sad. Gunther makes history. He will now pass the Honky Tonk Man. He'll now be the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in WWE history. So now the record will be broken, I think, on Friday, and there will be a big celebration for him. Now we all knew he was going to win it.
Their whole song, "Carry On a Wayward Son."
This is JD from New York. Life after CM Punk for being all elite wrestling. The CM Punk joined WWE.
Direct knock at CM Punk. I love the Bucks, dude. Tag team. I love the Bucks, dude. Tag team. One of the best tag team wrestlers out there. And I think they're good people. But the problem is like you can't. That's the pot calling kettle black. I mean, they did what they did. Punk home for what 8 months, 9 months, and there was many references, although soft, about Bill Brooks.
At this point, we'll give a shit. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If you don't like it, too bad. Deal with it.
Tag on Dynamite where Kenny Omega bit someone on live television in reference
too bad. You don't like it, deal with it. If you don't like it, too bad. Deal with it. I don't give a shit. Like I said, I only ate about 30 minutes. More than that, or 30 minutes. What did I tell you? Well, too bad. Deal with it. Well, too bad. Deal with it. Well, too bad. Deal with it.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah, you can argue all you want. You're arguing over shit.
The game is over.
If you don't like it, too bad. Deal with it. You don't like it, too bad. Deal with it. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. You don't like it, too bad. Deal with it. Before you get killed.
I mean, everybody's to blame though. Connor's to blame.
Like it, too bad. Deal with it. Before you get killed. You like it, too bad. Deal with it. You get killed. I told you shut up.
It's disappointing, like you said.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
And we don't know what the end result will be, and this is going to be an ongoing thing. We're seeing Punk go.
If you don't like it,
is not going to stop.
What I did tell
until,
you.
Survivor Series in Chicago. People are going to start rumors about that. Rumble, WrestleMania.
Yeah.
My question is, life after AEW, life after CM Punk for AEW. What happens to Collision? Do we see Collision stay the course the way it's been?
All right. So JD from New York and Andrew Baydala. They're talking about CM Punk. If it's possible, he may go to WWE. We're not sure. Almost forgot to mention. We do have NXT tonight. We have NXT. What's going on NXT? I think the only big thing for NXT tonight is Becky Lynch. Now Becky Lynch beat Trish Stratus. She's done with Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark. She's moving on. She went to NXT to challenge Tiffany Stratton because Tiffany Stratton said there's not much of a division on the show. Now, who fault that? Is that Tracy's fault? Is that Shawn Michaels' fault? Is that the creative? That there's not enough people to challenge Tiffany Stratton had to be Becky Lynch? So is it going to be on NXT No Mercy? Because I think that's in a few weeks. I believe in a few weeks. Is that this week? I don't know. Now, I do want to see this. Tiffany Stratton just defended her title. Tiffany Stratton defended her NXT Women's Championship against Katana James in a pretty good match. And now she'll fight Charlotte Flair. Becky Lynch. Now, this is the best thing to do for Becky Lynch because he's not going after Rhea Ripley. I think it's too soon for that. It could be at WrestleMania or a big pay-per-view. Now, what's on the show for NXT? We have Braun Breaker and Von Wagner in a no disqualification match. We have Angel Garza and Huberto return to NXT, taking on. They return to NXT. We have Dabba-Kato versus Tyler Bate. We have the NXT Global Heritage Invitational Tournament between Bush and Asa. Yeah, Bush is on NXT. We have Ilya Dragunov versus Ovo Masa. And that's pretty much all. And that's pretty much on the show. So there's not much on NXT really. We didn't see Dominic tonight. Now we did get Wesley and Ilya Dragunov will face off in the number contender match. I get the winner. So it is for next week, and the winner will face Carmelo Hayes. Now who can win this match? Well, maybe Wesley should win because we already saw Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes at Great American Bash a few weeks ago. Wesley, they already did the match. Maybe Wesley will turn heel and we can do a program with those two. I don't know. Now we did get a bad day that chaos go up in the NXT Women's locker room with Roxanne Perez. Alright. Booker T's on commentary. Drew Gulak, you working backstage.
Okay.
Dominic was on the show. Dominic, he's the North American champion. So it looks like they're setting up probably Ali or Dragon Lee to win the North American title. So Dominic was the referee in this Ali and Dragon Lee match. He did a fat count. So Dominic, he did a fat count on Dragon Lee, gave Ali the win. Then they attacked Dominic. I didn't see Rhea Ripley tonight. It was only Dominic. And that's about it. So I think they're setting up Dragon Lee or Ali, I think. Drew Gulak, he's on it.
I knew it. I was ready. I was on your ass from the get-go tonight. Want to know what else I know? You can't beat me without a little extra something. The first time it was the ring post. Then, on the entrance, you want to jumpstart. Then you had to bring out your belt. Then it was your belt. I don't know how or when or where we're going to settle this, but Dijak, you need to know. You are not done.
Dijak, he feud with that guy. Oh, wait. I'll try and look at something, but that didn't happen. Let's go back to JD from New York.
The volatile shit he said about the company all these years. I mean, the report was, Drew, and I was absolutely fucking disgusted when I read about the William Regal report. I mean, William Regal's over there. William Regal's the right-hand man for Triple H. And William Regal, he got fired wrongfully from WWE. He ends up coming over to AEW because of his close ties with Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson. And Bryan Danielson, with the leader he is to that locker room, you're going to have CM Punk greet William Regal for the first day and say, I'm not shaking your hand. I don't trust you. You're nothing more than a Triple H stooge. I mean, what type of fucking individual are we dealing with here? I mean, if he ends up going over there, I don't think he's gonna be of the right mindset, especially in the fans' eyes. I think people are gonna really fucking shit on him.
Well, and I saw the comparison. Well, Brett said what he said about Vince, and Vince took him back.
Wait, what's this?
Many of us don't want summer to end. Summer seems to have hurt us. 186 million Americans, or more than half of the population, are seeing above average temperatures. On Tuesday, a little more than 2 weeks until fall, the feels like.
Wait, it feels like temperature. Extreme heat shuts down schools across U.S. Labor Day may be the official end of the summer, but an estimated 186 million Americans, more than half of the population. Extreme heat shuts down schools across the U.S. I'm sorry, I was watching the news. I don't know why.
Temperature hit triple digits in.
And it's not just in Michigan. From 78 public schools with no air conditioning, with a 97-degree pool. Businesses in Texas. This Friday Night Lights, which is a ritual, high school football, even that.
I don't know why.
I have
The wrestling dad, there's NYC Diamond Demon Diva, Issa, she's also wrestling, and she like me. I'm just showing you the other podcasters that do reviews on wrestling.
Of AEW changing in its originality and what it was. I think he felt like it was changing, and he also hated that his EVP status, but he was allowed to help, backstage and all that other stuff, and maybe make some big decisions. Pulled away from it. So my question to you is that will AEW get back to the AEW that you love now that Phil Brooks and Punk is gone?
It's not being this low.
That nucleus and the original formation of what this company is might be back, quote unquote.
I did feel, after All Out, that it was a show that was of a renewed focus. I do feel like All Out, when the show was over, felt like the AEW of old. Now, I don't know in what sense to tell you and describe to you, but it just felt like it was raw AEW, like the AEW that we love.
Yeah.
Now, as far as that is concerned, I genuinely think that Tony Khan has a great nucleus of people around him. Brian, he's put a lot of trust and a lot of responsibility on Bryan Danielson, and that's someone that, as a fan, I adore. I love that man. And I think at the scrum, he says he's hired Jimmy Jacobs. Jimmy Jacobs was fired from WWE because he took a picture with the Elite outside of a show in California. WWE got wind of it, and they fired him the next week. So Jimmy Jacobs apparently is now the right-hand man of Tony Khan, and Tony Khan said that Jimmy Jacobs has a lot of responsibility, and he travels with him everywhere. So I do feel like Tony Khan is making strides to bring in people and to give people responsibilities so that there isn't a lot on his plate, and that we get back to doing what is best, and that is, AEW, what brought them to the table. I do feel, going back to your Cody point, I do feel if Cody and CM Punk end up working together and are employed on the same brand, I do think Cody left AEW because he felt, and like you said, he saw the writing on the wall. I felt like he knew he was not going to be the glimmer in Tony Khan's eye anymore, and that Tony Khan was going to have a shiny new toy that he was going to basically end up playing with all the time, and Cody would be played with sometimes, maybe on the weekend, and he's not going to get the rub from Tony Khan that he expected. So he felt like at that time, I'm going to go back home. I think I've built enough credibility with my fan base and have applied all this to build my brand that I can go over there and be the star that I know I can be, and be home with Vince and really put a great legacy on my family's name. Now, if Punk goes over to WWE and we see Cody and Punk on the same roster, I don't think Cody's going to feel that way anymore because Punk is going to be the one that is basically going to be in Cody's shoes when he was in AEW. So Cody's going to be the bigger star, and he knows it. And Punk is going to be underneath Cody. So I don't think Cody's going to feel that same way anymore.
Yeah.
And we were on a collision course for Cody and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. I mean, Jey Uso,
Yes.
Cody's political power.
Yes.
WWE is planting those seeds. And again, the WrestleMania stuff, guys, if you know your history, WrestleMania feuds and stories start at Survivor Series. They get accelerated through at the Royal Rumble, and then all of a sudden it's bang WrestleMania. So,
Here's a spoiler, guys. With Cody bringing Jay to Raw, they basically told you the main event of WrestleMania.
right, exactly right, 100%. And to your point, Tony Khan was signing a bunch of ex-WWE guys.
Yes.
Danielson, Punk, the FTR, all these
That
guys.
did not hurt. That did not help Cody.
No, and I felt like Cody felt, in my opinion, he was kind of second fiddle. So
Yeah.
he decided that he was going to, quote unquote, take his ball and go home. But yeah, I think Cody saw, a lot of other people saw, and he decided that it was time for him to take his talents to WWE, where he really de facto became the second biggest star in the company. Truthfully. And Tony Khan does not have a John Cena card when his world champion wants to take some time off, like WWE does. He doesn't. So this is the CM Punk Phil Brooks loss for AEW is going to be massive in terms of star power for AEW. But that fan base, it's not the same fan base as WWE. So I think it could get back to where it was a year ago, 2 years ago, which could be good for them.
Yeah. This is going to be a big deal for the brand itself. AEW, I feel like, did turn over a new leaf on Sunday with All Out, Drew. And this was the first show without CM Punk. It was in Chicago, the United Center. Kind of disappointing that they did just as many people inside the United Center as compared to the Now Arena in Schaumburg. But I mean, that's what happens when there's fatigue and oversaturation in a market. But regardless of that, you and I have been very critical of the build for All Out. We enjoyed All In. We were critical of the build of All In. All In was a great show. It was a memorable show. And then the build for All Out was seemingly non-existent. It was like a fucking Ring of Honor house show on paper. I mean, it just was not good. MJF wasn't defending the World Championship. He was in a tag team match with Adam Cole in the fucking Dark Order. Shane Taylor versus Samoa Joe. Ricky Starks was missing an opponent before they announced Bryan Danielson. And they got some other shit on there with Eddie Kingston and Claudio, Shibata, and whatever the case may be. And then a big 8-man tag with the Bucks and FTR teaming up against Bullet Club Gold. It did not resonate with the fan base. Everybody was complaining that there was no story. There was no long-term build. So we go to All Out on Sunday. At the end of the show, people are claiming this might have been the best in-ring product that AEW's put on all year. I thoroughly enjoyed the show. I thought it was a very important show for them to come out and nail that show after CM Punk being fired. What did you think of the show?
I think this is the stupidest fucking argument I've ever had with anybody. And I saw a lot of AEW talent. And guys, I don't remember if I saw any girls tweet about it. Maybe they did. So guys and girls on the AEW roster, I'm sorry if you felt that myself and JD's comments about how this All Out card had less than nothing in terms of build. I'm sorry that you feel that way because it was the truth, and the truth hurts. That's not to say that Moxley and Cassidy didn't have a great match. It did. That had build. It's not to say that MJF and Adam Cole in their tag match. The story is MJF and Adam Cole. And I love me some John Silver. He's a Long Island boy just like myself.
Oh, John Silver was incredible. I love John Silver.
But I mean, let's call a spade a spade. MJF and Adam Cole versus the Dark Order, that's a dynamite match, okay? It's a dynamite match. And it's also going to be a very dynamite the show. It's a very good, the in-ring product has never suffered for AEW. It's the best wrestling on the planet. But wrestling, professional wrestling and sports entertainment is not just about what happens in the ring. That's where things culminate. We had no story, no build, no continuation, no conclusion, besides 3 matches. The Starks and Danielson match was unbelievable. And I give Tony props for that. It was put together last minute. Good story involving Ricky, the Dragon. And it was this Dragon, not that Dragon. Surprise.
Oh, my man.
Great. I loved it. And Omega and Takeshita, chef's kiss. Great match. Great story. Don Callis and Omega.
The fact that Kenny Omega can't win without Don Callis.
sit here and tell me that show had any fucking build to it. Because it didn't. It's like full match. Listen, Shane Taylor and Samoa Joe. Who gives a shit? All right, but Samoa Joe and MJF had a story that WWE created.
Which people were more interested in that than the actual fucking match with Shane Taylor and Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
A show.
That's good
Yeah.
storytelling. I don't mind if that's what wrestling's all about.
Anthony Bowens tweeted. This started with Anthony. This is the only tweet I saw, and then I heard Tony Khan mention it because Jesse mentioned it live on the air when we were doing our show on early Monday morning. Tony
I just
Khan.
want to say I'm a huge Acclaim fan. Love their work.
I love Caster and Bowens. I love the Acclaimed. We have absolutely zero problem with them and what they do. This is not a knock on them as in-ring performers. It's just the narrative that we felt AEW was now pushing after such an incredible show. Tony Khan said he's going to stop listening to the online fan base a little more now because the show ended up being incredible and he doesn't really give a shit about a lack of a build because of how great the show was. That's number one that pissed me off. Then the next morning, I saw Anthony Bowens tweet this, Drew. He says, this is the 4,567th time people complained leading up to a show, and as per usual, AEW delivers, and then some. When are you all going to learn? So I quote tweeted, and I said, I see this is the narrative now within the company after the last night. I mean this in no disrespect towards Mr. Bowens because I love what he does, but we can't excuse the lack of storytelling, direction, or creative because the roster put on a great in-ring show. It's two completely different things. Everyone knows AEW is capable of a show like this. The roster is always going to deliver as it should. It's probably the best roster of talent in the entire world. But imagine how much better the show put matches on TV because Tony Khan needed a pay-per-view card. If I want to watch pro wrestling for great matches, I can see that anywhere. AEW is better than that, and the fans care enough to call it out. Don't throw it back in the fans' faces when the company doesn't do something, and then when a show like last night happens, you think it's all okay. You're basically saying it's okay for creative, management, and TK to be lazy because you know the roster will deliver on pay-per-view and the story or lack of story doesn't matter. Drew, what they're basically telling me and you is we don't have to watch Dynamite and Collision every fucking week. Just wait for the fucking pay-per-views and you're going to get great matches, man. That's all they fucking care about.
I'm going to tell you this. I had 10 people in my backyard with the television, and we were eating, drinking, having a good time. And it was, it was Labor Day weekend. And I was telling some of the people that were watching, both guys and girls, Kenny Omega's probably the best wrestler in the world. And they got that story and everything else like that. But realistically, those guys and girls who were watching that don't watch wrestling every week. And all they had to do was turn into the pay-per-view for the most part. And I was like, this is kind of new. This is fresh. We don't know where this is going. So you're seeing it just like we are. So again, I put out this tweet to the AEW Delivered Again crowd. For me, there's never been a question on if the AEW roster can deliver on television and pay-per-view. Yes, they always deliver in the ring. Pro wrestling isn't just about the matches. I enjoy the story, build, and then the conclusion or the continuation. That is why we tune in. You are asking us to invest our time, which is invaluable. It's in that. That's the one thing nobody can buy. I don't care how fat my bank account is. I don't care how fat your bank account is. To the people watching us at home, you cannot buy time, and you never will be able to buy time. Don't make me waste my time watching Dynamite and Collision if you're not going to advance storylines. And I'm going to give Tony the benefit of the doubt. Rock in a hard place. Wanted to do All In Wembley. Had a fantastic show. But you came out and gave us slop minus 3 matches. And I'm sorry. This is how I feel. It's my opinion. I'm just some guy behind the screen who invests his time. That's all I am. Who's been watching for 35 years. I just want stories. Give me some backstory. Every major match that's ever happened that people talk about through the history of wrestling has had major stories. We want to watch good matches. I'll go watch New Japan. I don't understand what the hell they're saying half the time anyway. So I'll go watch that. I don't understand. Like, to me, it's like...
It's amazing how this company, man, I love AEW. I love what Tony Khan does. I love that roster dearly. I really do. But it's amazing to me how I read something like this and the roster criticizes the fan base for caring so much and so passionately that they're holding the company to a high standard that they know the company can operate at. That's what makes me laugh at this shit. Like, we know you guys are capable of it. You've done it before. Why are you now excusing laziness? I don't understand it.
And here's the thing. I understand, like, we're going to deliver. Yeah, we know that. The fact of the matter is that you make me spend $50 of my hard-earned money. That's $1. You need 49 more of those suckers to order your pay-per-view. And I'm okay with doing it. And I do it time after time.
I did without any hesitation.
So yeah, so did I. So who's the sucker? Us or you? I mean, that's the thing. Like, I understand and I get it. You had all your chips and All In. But All Out was your premiere show. It was what kicked off everything. And I don't smack somebody who loves me every day. I don't smack loyalty in the face, and I'm damn sure not going to smack All Out and basically make it an afterthought. And that's what this show felt like, besides the Mox match with Cassidy, the Takeshi and Omega match, and the Danielson and Ricky Starks match. The FTR Young Bucks match, I don't understand why the fuck these guys are teaming.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Normally, I'm a man of many words. I could fucking give you a goddamn clue as to what's going on there. But I don't know. I don't know why the fans got to be chastised for wanting a better in-ring, better creative product. And these people are paying to watch your show, and all they're asking for is just better story. I mean, that's all these people want. That's all we've asked for.
Yeah, and I see some people here in the chat being like, AW has told stories. Yeah, they've, with some of their guys and girls, they've told stories. But the other thing is that, like, you have to be a wrestling fanatic sometimes.
We did get Nathan Fraser versus Doc Hudson. That was also on NXT. The NXT Global Heritage Invitational Tournament. That was the other match. There's not much to talk about here. We have the Good Mic Work commentary. Birthday tomorrow. He'll be 46 years old tomorrow. That'll be the Dynamite review. Alright. His return confirmed for NXT. I'm just looking up the news and rumors about WWE so far. There's not much to talk about. Mike will just continue Watson's JD from New York.
I'm gonna watch Dynamite on a weekly basis. They're writing weekly episodic television, and you got two guys carrying the entire load for a 2-hour fucking weekly program, and then nothing on the other end because you fired your fucking biggest star.
Right, and everybody and their mother would completely demolish, criticize, chastise WWE if they gave you tournament after tournament after tournament to decide who the number one contender for these championship type.
Some injury issue.
Draft the ultimate team to
Oh wait, hold on.
transform your processes into profits. Like a wizard. Exactly.
Um,
Start automating for free. Be a part of the NW.
Rosa Mendes, Lily.
That's what he's talking about. It shouldn't be a fucking thing. MJF's your world champion, and he's wrestling the Dark Order on pay-per-view, bro. For the Ring of Honor titles.
John, I love you, buddy. Long Island guy like myself, Islander fan, just like myself, through and through. But, dude, nobody watches Rampage.
No.
Nobody.
Yeah, I don't either.
Nobody.
I mean, all in all, Drew, it was a tremendous show. It was a tremendous show, and Moxley won the international championship. I got laughed at when I said Orange Cassidy should have won and sent the crowd home happy. I think he needed that win more than Moxley did, but Moxley ended up winning it. But
here's the problem, okay? I would agree with you had they not just fired Phil Brooks.
Yeah.
John Moxley is Mr. Dependable in AEW. He's their Iron Man, and you needed to keep that stock red hot. Moxley loses to Cassidy. Cassidy goes here and Moxley's kind of like looked at as he's got a rebound and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Totally.
I think they had no choice but to keep Moxley, with that bullet in the chamber, because if Moxley, Punk's gone, they're gonna have to lean on Moxley more now.
Takeshita, he beats Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega, absolutely beautiful pro wrestlers. Kenny Omega, he put Takeshita over big on Sunday night in a great match. Some people, Drew, were saying it was better than the Will Ospreay Kenny Omega match at Forbidden Door. What do you think?
No. And I only say that because I think the Will Ospreay Jericho match is better at All In. I mean, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I love the story in a professional wrestling match. That's why I'm a huge Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels guy.
Yeah.
People say you got to pick one. I don't. That's just me. So I think this match was very, very good. They told a fantastic story. And Kenny Omega consistently makes talent in AEW. He makes new stars. And I will say this, I'm a CM Punk guy. Who did he make? Besides Ricky. It hadn't happened yet. Punk didn't make anybody.
No. That's a good point. That's a totally different topic for a different day, though. We can harp on that for a little bit. But Kenny does make everybody around him better, and he made Takeshita into a megastar on Sunday night. Brian Danielson.
I do it all the time.
I know. Brian Danielson made Ricky Starks into a legitimate megastar on Sunday, Drew. That was the coming out performance that Ricky Starks needed, and I mentioned it when I was live with Jesse on Sunday. That match for Ricky Starks, that match was his Bret Hart and Stone Cold at WrestleMania 13.
That's very well said.
Yes.
I never even thought about that. That's very well said. That is my favorite WrestleMania match of all time. I know people are always Taker and Shawn.
Yep, that's number 2 for me. Taker, Shawn's number 1.
So I'm a Bret Austin guy. I just think everything in there it took Austin to a completely different level, and it put Bret in this vehemently nasty heel and was just straight Canada. And that was, in my opinion, that's Bret his best work. It really is. That was in '97. Bret was his best work ever. And then I go Taker Shawn from 25, and then number 3 is which a lot of people don't like, is the Iron Man match from WrestleMania 12, but that made Shawn. So I really do like that comparison. And Ricky Starks,
I mean, just look at the ending of the match. Look at the way he was choked out with the strap, and he never said, I quit. He just fucking passed out. It reminded me of Stone Cold with the blood dripping down. He just falls down. Ken Shamrock is asking him, and then he waves it off. Goodbye. It's over.
You know what's crazy is I bet you that finish, that whole thing, was exactly what Punk and Starks were going to do. I bet you Danielson just said, let's just do what you guys are going to do.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I think that's 100% what happened.
Now that you say it, I can absolutely see Phil Brooks doing that same exact fucking ending in that match with Ricky Starks.
We're gonna have the Bret Austin match from 13 in Chicago.
Yeah.
And they literally from Chicago in Chicago. So Ricky Starks should challenge MJF for the world title at Grand Slam.
You think?
And lose.
Ricky Starks versus MJF again?
I think you got to do it. I mean, we could rush it here, but I think Ricky's stock is at an all-time high. And I really don't know, like, Omega and MJF, you'd almost have to, like, who wins that match? And are you really going to give Adam Cole and MJF again on Dynamite at Grand Slam? I don't think so. Are you going to go Roddy Strong and MJF? Nah, I go Ricky Starks.
So we're not doing MJF versus Samoa Joe at Grand Slam? I mean,
maybe that could be it. I mean, you know what? Brooklyn, they're gonna tell that story. Maybe.
I mean, MJF is on Dynamite tomorrow, and he did tweet after the shove on Sunday, "I'm not the same kid in Brooklyn, motherfucker. Game on." So it looks like we're building to something, and he's gonna need a big main event. And I know you didn't want MJF to defend the title on TV, but if he's gonna defend the title on TV, it better be a big fucking match, and that's a big fucking match.
Yeah, the Joe match makes sense. I could see that. I don't hate it. Shit, you can even do it at Wrestle Dream, but yeah, I don't hate that. That's fine. I just think Ricky needs to stay in the main event spotlight because I think Bryan Danielson made him. Punk was going to make him. And, I mean, I think Ricky, if you have any crack, any chance at re-signing Ricky Starks, who is basically all signed, sealed, and delivered to go to WWE because his homeboys over there.
Yep.
This is what you got to do.
So that was. I'm glad they didn't actually tease anything with Adam Cole and MJF. I like that they're continuing this slow burn, and Roddy is playing a really, really great role in this entire situation. So I'm very curious to see what they're doing here.
Well, that's the story, and
Yeah.
we talked about that. You cannot. Everyone was like, "Well, what happens if MJF and Cole lose the championships and all that?" I was like, "You can't do that. They got to ride this tag team wave out for a little bit, and maybe they lose the tag team titles at the first Ring of Honor pay per view, and that the first Ring of Honor pay per view that they're tag team champions.
Yeah.
And that's where you start to see the cracks. These two are not here. That story's not. It's not climaxed yet.
No.
And don't, because this is the best thing on your television. Don't.
Well, they need it now.
Yeah. Don't push the button. Don't break the glass in case of emergency. Stay the course, Tony and AEW, because you guys are doing a fantastic job with these two and this story. Don't change it.
I'm telling you, I'm having Adam Cole turn. I'm having Adam Cole win the title and MJF chase as the mega oversympathetic devil. That's what I'm doing.
I honestly think that MJF is like untouchable at this point.
He is.
If he loses, he's got to.
I can't say more than enough about MJF, man. It's fucking incredible how he's risen from even last year, showing up at All Out, confronting CM Punk, and returning as the devil with that Tony Khan voicemail playing over the PA system, to where we see him now. Man, he's like a completely different performer.
Yeah, and I think that's the range that he's showing, and also I know that WWE will try and go after him, but I think this whole January thing's a work. I know I might be the only one, but I don't think Tony. I mean, how much time, money, television time, which is invaluable. Pay-per-view main events they have given MJF, they're not going to let. What is it going to take? If MJF says this, I'll be like, okay, see if WWE will give you that. And then if WWE comes back and 7.5, whatever, I'd be like, all right, we'll match it. We'll go above. I don't think Tony even lets him get the January.
I think he's already signed an extension. I think he's already signed, sealed, and delivered. Honestly,
I think so too, and I think MJF is AEW's biggest coup. Cannot let him go.
No. Let's shift gears to WWE. Drew, we had a WWE Premium Live event on Saturday, believe it or not, with all that's going on with the AEW hysteria. Payback was a solid show on Saturday. Felt like a grander Monday Night Raw. Wasn't really all that premium, but Triple H, quality over quantity. 7 matches, I believe, or 6.
Download the Domino's.
Key points here of Payback. Start with Becky and Trish. They absolutely delivered in a steel cage match to open the show. Probably the best thing that Becky has done all year. Probably the best Trish Stratus match ever, in my honest opinion.
And we eat shit on this one. They over-delivered.
Listen, we didn't eat shit, man. The feud sucked.
100%, but I'm just saying that
the ladies showed up to work, though. They fucking killed it.
Yeah, and we said that, this match just needs to happen. But I think we saw a different side of Trish. We saw a different side of Becky. There was a lot of
frustrations because they weren't on SummerSlam, man. That was 2 women that went out there and said, "You want to leave us off the biggest show of the summer? We're gonna fucking show you something."
And that's the thing. I mean, I think Trish's demeanor going into that match, I think everything. I think Becky and Trish put on a hell of a match.
Yeah.
Stark story. That was a great way to open that PLE. Really was.
Now, Becky moves on. Supposedly, she's on NXT tonight. I seen some people in the chat saying that she's on NXT.
She's challenging their champion for the NXT Women's Champion. I am interested to see how we get out of this one.
What is the point?
Lose.
What is the point here? Like, is Becky going to win the championship that she never won here? And I want to throw it to you. This is not something that's on the run sheet here, because I find this to be incredibly frustrating when WWE does this with talent like a Charlotte and a Becky. I feel like if they're not booking Becky or a Charlotte in a championship match, then they don't have a fucking clue as to what to do with them with creative. Like, why do they need to be in a championship match and a championship match only? You can't book them in something that's a little less than what they're normally used to. Like, use them to get a younger talent over. It's like they always rush. We'll put Becky in a championship match. We can't put her against Rhea, but we'll put her against Tiffany Stratton. Who the fuck wants to see that?
Yeah, I think this is all for the ratings. I think, when Nick Khan said this in the earnings call, which if you're a wrestling fan, you should listen to the investor call. I do, because I have stock in WWE. They're publicly traded. Make money off them, guys and girls, if you can. I think this is Nick Khan trying to build this as a legitimate third brand. So he can play that card. Hey, go down to Orlando for me. Here's the private jet. Go work this match with, Tiff. that being Becky. I want to see what happens. I want to see how we get out of here. Now, am I going to watch the show live? No. I don't watch NXT live. I will record it. If something is major happening on it, then you'll get my attention. Becky on NXT is major. So I will see what happens, but we got to get out of this match with Tiffany being still your NXT champion and Becky not losing clean. So how do we do this? Do we get a no contest? Then you're going to piss people off? I don't know. Does Trish cost her the match? Does Zoe cost her the match? I don't know. I don't know what we do. But Becky, if Becky wins that NXT Women's Championship, that doesn't help anybody, and I just feel like that's laziness.
That's basically them telling us that they don't trust Tiffany Stratton. That's the way I see it. I don't know. I mean, did Braun Breaker beat Seth Rollins? No. So why are we going to do this with Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton? It's complete opposite.
Yeah, I think Becky does help the ratings for them, and I think that
Sure.
Again, what we need to do here is how do we get out of next Tuesday with the championship still being on Tiff and Becky still looking strong in terms of how she lost?
So I think that may actually, I mean, for ratings, it may actually happen on TV, but I'm thinking maybe they do it at No Mercy. They got their pay-per-view coming up this month. Maybe
Is that
Yeah.
that changed? I thought it was next week. I don't know.
I have no clue, but I think that's coming up this month. Maybe they do it there. We'll figure that out. But yes, the ladies did deliver on Saturday night, big in that steel cage match. The feud was one of the worst parts of Monday Night Raw all year, but they did show up to work. And for the fans, now you know why Triple H didn't put it on SummerSlam, because I said this on my post show on Saturday, Drew. If this match was on SummerSlam, they would have gotten not anywhere close to the amount of time they got on Saturday night, and they fucking killed it with the time that they were given. If it was on SummerSlam, it would have been forgotten and nobody would have been talking about it. Now, people are talking about it and they're labeling it as probably one of the best women's matches all year.
So everybody who took to Twitter to complain, or X to complain about,
They're the ones getting shit.
yeah, I can't believe you guys took this off the card. Like, what the hell would happen to women's empowerment? Hey, homeboys and homegirls, they got like 20 minutes of quality airtime on a PLE, and they stole the show.
Yeah.
And the main event of next
and you
week-
had two women's matches on Saturday. Look at that.
main event of next week's NXT is Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton for the NXT Women's Championship. So there you go.
Okay. There you go. We got some competition next week. Look at that.
Or if we could outdraw Becky, man, I might just ask for a raise here.
I'm going to need some more CM Punk news to hit the rumor mill, so Drew and I have something to talk about next week. Judgment Day, Drew. They steal the tag team championships from Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I was legitimately shocked when this decision was made. I did not expect that to happen. I was expecting more of a tension situation between Finn Balor and Damian Priest to further that storyline, but my God, man, what a fucking tag team match. I thought that this was the best match of the night. It may have been one of the best tag team matches that we see all year in any promotion. That was a fucking hell of a match. Was it the right time to take the belts off of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens?
Yes.
Really?
I think
Two single stars in their own right. The story now is Sammy and Jay. Sammy's Jay's only ally. How's Kevin going to take to that? It's not.
I
So
did bring
Jay's-
that up, yeah.
Jay's first feud is probably going to be with Kevin Owens.
Or maybe Sammy is not directly involved with Jay yet. I said this on my post show last night. Who's going to battle the Judgment Day? Judgment Day is running havoc over Monday Night Raw. Somebody's going to stop them. I mean, Sami Zayn wrestled JD McDonough last night. Kevin Owens, I do agree, because I said the same exact thing on my post show last night. I do think that Kevin Owens is going to have a problem with Sammy interjecting himself in the Jey Uso situation, because he had a problem with it in the first place. And I don't know how he's going to take to that. So they may actually be teasing a split between Sammy and KO at some point. But the bigger problem is now Judgment Day. They got to remain together to band together against Judgment Day. Who backs up Sammy and KO? I pitched Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Because Tommaso Ciampa walked into Adam Pearce's office last night, and maybe he is discussing potentially bringing Johnny into the fold and maybe doing away with Judgment Day on Raw. I don't know.
So I thought the call was the right call. I think this match was excellent. I think Kevin, Sammy, Punishment Martinez, Damian Priest, whatever we're calling him nowadays, who, is just killing it. And Finn Balor paid a huge homage to Terry Funk in the hardcore style. That was very evident. Kevin really sold out on the Swanton on Dom. I mean, he landed hard. He missed the table. So again, I think all four men competed their balls off and gave exactly what you would want in that type of match. I think it was the right call. Judgment Day has all of the gold besides the world, the main worlds for the men. And I think that they run Raw. Judgment Day runs Raw. The interesting dynamic. There's two things. That's why I really dug Monday Night Raw after Payback. Two things. JD McDonough is kissing a lot of ass on Judgment Day. And he's kissing ass to Damian Priest. And that little contract swap, what do we do with this other case? There's something there that I'm not quite sure I can put my finger on just yet. Not quite sure. And I think the split, the other story is, which you just touched on, Sammy and Jay. It's brilliant. Sammy's the only one that trusts Jay, and everybody else can't stand the guy. They don't trust him, all this stuff. It's just good storytelling. It really is.
Yeah, they did a really great job, and Jey Uso really creates a nice dynamic to get you interested in a couple of different things there. Nobody likes him on the roster because of his bloodline history. The bloodline has basically run havoc over WWE in general. So Drew McIntyre had a problem with him last night. Matt Riddle had a problem because Matt Riddle was put out alongside Randy Orton by the bloodline. McIntyre obviously was fucked over by the bloodline at Clash of the Castle and Solo Sikoa against Roman Reigns. So yes, I'm intrigued by that story, but
Who's going to SmackDown?
listen, man.
That was the other story.
This is the other story. Adam Pearce did say that with Jey Uso's arrival on Monday Night Raw, because Cody pulled his political strings, and Michael Cole said, well, he was an EVP at one point. He's got that type of pull. So, nice little, dig at AEW there in his former position. But I did say on my show on Monday, Drew, that I do think that Cody is the only one that makes sense to go over to SmackDown, because we need a way to finish the story. And I said, I don't want to see Cody draw number one at the Royal Rumble and win a predictable Royal Rumble to get to Roman at WrestleMania. I would rather him be traded and move over to SmackDown in light of Jay coming to Raw, so that he's already over there. John Cena's over there. He can work tags with Cena. You want to get a one-on-one match with Cena? He's over there. And then move on to Roman. And he doesn't need to win the Rumble because he'll be on the same brand as Roman. He can just challenge for the championship.
See, this is where I wanted to freeze again, but I won't. I do not agree. I don't want Cody over on SmackDown because, no pun intended, the time is not right for him to go there. The match between him and Roman can be built very easily, and Roman's not there. And I don't want Cody and Roman to cross paths, because what's Cody going to fight for the United States Championship? Miss me with that shit. I'm telling you this right now. I think the person that goes over to SmackDown is Randy Orton, because they need it. And Randy and Roman can have some matches. They can have some matches.
I could see that. I mean, I wasn't thinking about Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton fits better on a brand that has Cody Rhodes.
100%, but I think Cody's got some feuds here in the chamber, truthfully, on Raw that don't involve Seth Rollins and that World Heavyweight Championship. What happens if Jey Uso?
Well, wait. Let me stop. Was Randy Orton drafted? Was Randy Orton drafted to a brand? Is what I want to know. So how could he be traded if he's not really on Raw?
Let's look this up. I don't know. I'll look it up right now.
Or maybe it doesn't matter.
I don't know if Randy was ever mentioned.
I don't think Randy was ever mentioned. I mean, I think Cody probably makes the most sense in my honest opinion, my point of view, but I could see it being Randy Orton for sure, because who put out Randy Orton? Her storyline to begin with, it was Roman Reigns. So yeah, I could see that being the case, and him going to Adam Pearce and saying, hey, I want over there. I got to get my revenge. If I'm coming back, I'm going right after Roman.
I do not see Randy Orton on the Raw roster, so that would mean he's probably not drafted. So I will look here on the Raw roster. KO, that would really split Sammy and KO, but I think KO needs to stay because the story writes itself there with, hey, I don't trust this guy. Why is this guy, your friend, with Jey Uso? Man, I mean, you could really shake this whole thing up and trade one of the Judgment Day members. I don't know if that's the right call either.
No, I don't think that's the right call. It's so close to a possible War Games. I think they all need to be together.
What about Drew?
I think he's turning heel, and I think he's going to suit Monday Night Raw better, because I think a heel Drew against Rollins or a heel Drew versus if Cody's not going to get drafted, I think Cody and Drew is a good program because Drew McIntyre did say if Jey Uso fucks up once, I'm going to keep a very close eye on him. If he fucks up once, then I'm going to go and seek whoever brought him over here and deal with them myself personally, and that's Cody Rhodes. So I could see them kind of crossing paths at some point as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. That SmackDown or that Raw roster, I mean, it could be a woman, but I mean, there's a lot of talented women on Raw that would make sense.
Yes, Cody is too obvious. I get the fact that Cody is too obvious, but finish the story, right? It
Yeah.
makes sense. I just appreciate the fact that they're actually doing something to make sense of somebody coming over and they want to bring somebody else to SmackDown via trade. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, it looks like Randy's not even in the free agent. It's Lesnar, Von Wagner, Shelton, Cedric, Dolph, MVP, Logan Paul. He's not on SmackDown, so yeah, I don't know where he's at.
Well, Adam Pearce says it's not going to make a lot of people happy. I don't know what he meant by that, if that really factors into what he's doing here, but I did predict Cody. I can see why you think it's Randy. It makes sense.
I don't. The Cody thing just it's obvious, and it would piss people off in terms of like the Raw roster, but in that story, I'm not talking about piss me off, piss you off. I just don't think it's the right time for Cody to go over to SmackDown because Roman's not there. What is intriguing in that though is if we get Cody and John.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Cody and John Cena at Survivor Series. That'll be John Cena's possible send-off before he goes back to Hollywood. I don't know when that's going to end, but how long we have John Cena, that remains to be seen. But I could see that, before we get Cody and Roman at WrestleMania. You think they do that before we get to WrestleMania?
I don't know. I mean, I would hope not. That's a WrestleMania match, and if they go WWE, if The Rock does for whatever reason want to come back, you can miss me with the Roman match at Mania. Sorry, Rock.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I took from Payback, JD, and I kind of wanted your take on this too, was, and it was a great show, but I will say the John Cena LA Knight segment at the top of the ramp when John lifted up LA Knight's hand. Yeah. John was a special guest referee against The Miz. LA Knight won. John had a lot of involvement in that match as a ref, but it almost seemed like that kind of got real quick. Like John had his hand out and he was like, "Hey, dickhead. Shake my hand.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to show you a sign of respect. Yeah. Shake it. Leave your gimmick at the door here. I'm one of the greatest of all time. Shake my hand." So I don't, and then he said, John raised his hand, hit him on the back and said, "Your moment." And it looked to me like John was a little perturbed. Now, John could be selling very well, but it looked to me like John might have been a little bit legitimately pissed off.
I don't know. Well, LA Knight kind of came back with you almost ruined my match in there. You almost cost me the match against The Miz in there. So I think LA Knight was in character. I didn't really take away from that moment that John Cena was pissed off. I thought LA Knight was completely in character, and I think John Cena probably knew that, and he was just kind of playing up the fact that he was mad that LA Knight was, angry at him for the special guest referee spot, which I did not like, by the way. I didn't like John Cena being the special guest referee. I think that was an unadvertisement blunder for WWE. I think John Cena actually took away from the match itself, and The Miz and LA Knight did such a great job on the build that we didn't need John Cena as a special guest referee. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I think they just wanted to get John involved, and I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, he did raise LA Knight's hand. He got the exposure. He got the send off with Cena. But I mean, are we getting LA Knight for John Cena on SmackDown? Is that where we're going with this? Because what does LA Knight do after he beats The Miz again?
They protected John. They being WWE in terms of like, hey, we're not going to put you in the ring right away, and also because they want to make sure that if this strike does end, I think that John can just kind of get back into Hollywood and not have to have any physicality. I don't know how long that lasts, because truthfully, you do need John to have a couple matches, in my opinion. I don't know how many times you're going to trot him out as a enforcer or referee or host. People get tired of that shit. But yes, I do believe John Cena and LA Knight will have a match, and they should. I also think that whoever gets traded to Monday or to SmackDown, if it is Cody Rhodes.
I mean, that's why I said Cody. Cody Cena versus Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I mean, that's just tailor-made for a match.
Yeah. I hope it's not Cody, but maybe Cody's time on Raw is done. But even though they said Cody returns to Raw next week.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he gives us the answer that he's traded next week. I don't know. The other part of the Payback show on Saturday that I did not like, and I was a little excited coming on in, was the Seth Rollins and Nakamura match. I honestly thought it disappointed. I think it went way too long. The crowd was dead
Really?
for the. I mean, listen, it was a fun match. It felt like more of a Monday Night Raw main event to me than a PLE main event. And WWE did an admirable job in the last 3 weeks or so to build up Nakamura. But I think us as an American audience watching WWE television, we can appreciate when WWE tries to correct something that they fucked up with for so long. And they've done a very good job with Nakamura. The presentation's been great. The attitude's been great. The vignettes have been great. But last night, after he lost, Drew, he said no when the champion basically was giving him a free rematch. No.
He's a heel.
No. He's a heel.
He's a heel. He's not.
I don't give a shit if you're a heel, a baby face, an alien. I don't care. Like, you're getting a free championship match. You're going to accept the championship match.
Logic would say yes, but here's the deal: they have repackaged and made Nakamura something he hasn't been since WrestleMania 34, that Royal Rumble win, in his NXT days. So I think what Seth is trying, and the story here is Seth being like, granted, I understand your point. Like, you want to give me a championship title shot? Hell yeah, I'm taking it. But what Seth is doing is Seth is basically demanding that he defends his title against Nakamura, and Nakamura's playing the head game of no,
Yeah.
which furthers the storyline, which I know you understand because they got to get the fast lane. And we're going to get a stipulation, probably an I Quit match or something to that extent, because what Seth is doing is trying to lure Nakamura into a championship match, which is crazy. And Nakamura's like, nah, it's going to be on my terms, and I'm not even the champion. That's how bad Seth wants the match.
Well, I said on Monday when I went live after Raw, I'm like, well, Nakamura already got in Rollins' head about the back. He knows his back is the problem. And now he's basically teasing Rollins with the answer of no and trying to get into his head even more and break him down more. So Nakamura gets an even weaker Rollins when he does want to get to the match with Rollins at the pay-per-view. So I know where they were going with it. It just in execution, it sounded ridiculous. And I don't think I'm interested in a second match after what I saw at Fastlane. I mean, he lost clean, and I know we have another pay-per-view, but I'm more intrigued with Rollins and Ricochet. To be quite honest, Ricochet's interjected himself into this thing, and it looks like Ricochet may be set up for a main event match with Rollins at some point. How do you feel about that?
Are you fucking serious?
Yes, I am serious. Rollins and Ricochet, bro. Over Rollins and Nakamura?
Good night, everybody.
Come on, man. You know that's going to be a banger when they do it.
Great. I mean, yeah, the match will be good, but I mean, all right, so would this interest you? If Nakamura wins that championship at Fastlane, and then we have, Rollins, Nakamura 3, and he drops it a month later, I mean, does that interest you?
No.
But Ricochet does.
What do you want to know what the real problem is? WWE's got nobody at the top of the card. That's the problem.
There you go. So they're going to go Nakamura again, and then it's their job to tell us who's next.
I can tell you. I can tell you who's next. Gunther.
Good pick.
Yeah.
Very good pick. I think Gunther needs to drop that Intercontinental Championship at Fastlane to Gable. Those two men had a fantastic match, and the story on Monday Night Raw was great. Gunther's this nasty, evil, I don't give a shit about your family heel. And Chad Gable is now this guy who has all the sympathy in the world on him.
Yes. I don't know if we're getting a fourth match. Are we getting a fourth match? I mean, Gable, I think they released something on .com where he says he's not done with Gunther, and he promises he's going to take that title from Gunther, but that's not announced yet. So, in my point of view, I saw Gunther beat Gable clean. He's breaking the record this week. At the end of the week, he'll break the Hockey Talk Man's record. I did say last night, Drew, that if we do get a fourth match, Gable beats Gunther at Fastlane. If we are not getting a fourth match, Gunther takes the Intercontinental title into WrestleMania. And what I mean by that is he wins the Royal Rumble at number 1. He wins the Rumble, challenges Rollins at WrestleMania, beats Rollins at WrestleMania in the main event of night 1 as the Intercontinental Champion, holds both belts up at the end of the night. Come Raw after Mania, vacates the IC title. We have a big tournament, and Gunther's still undefeated.
Well, I can tell you this much: the WWE has done their job. They've erased the Honky Tonk Man from the longest Intercontinental Championship reign of all time, and that was the goal. Mission
The only
accomplished.
thing he lived for, man. Now it's gone.
Well, the WWE wants to get rid of some of that history, and I think they're doing that.
You didn't like Shake, Rattle, and Roll.
Yeah.
I'll pull out my Hasbro.
And listen, I like the gimmick, man, but I mean, I agree. Records are meant to be broken. I mean, that one should have been broken by now. I'm surprised it hasn't been.
Well, listen, Gunther is exceptional. So let him break the record. Let him drop that championship at Fastlane to Chad Gable. Chad Gable is going to be a main event star very, very shortly. I think the Intercontinental Championship now means so much more that Gunther is holding it. And when Gunther drops that championship to Chad Gable, the quality will not drop off. Gable is right there with Gunther in terms of match quality.
Yes, but it's not. I'm not worried about Gable. We all know Gable's one of the best pro wrestlers in the entire company. The problem that I have is WWE's been absolutely brilliant with Gunther in the IC title. Triple H has made a priority out of the Intercontinental Championship. Is that same priority going to be with Gable as champion? It's all in the follow-up. I don't trust them in the follow-up here.
I think Gunther's winning the Royal Rumble. I don't think Cody's going back to back. I think Gunther eliminates Cody in the Royal Rumble, and I think he wins it. And I think he challenges Seth. And I think Cody, how he gets the SmackDown is he wins the elimination.
Yes. Absolutely. That is picture perfect the way I book it.
Yeah, and I just think that that's probably the way they go. They see what they have in Gunther, they being WWE. They're going to elevate Gable. They're going to elevate Gunther. Gunther and Rollins at WrestleMania 40. Gunther, I think we've talked about this, beats the holy hell out of him.
Yes. The back issue comes into play there, and he's the one who puts Rollins out.
And Rollins goes away. Maybe he does have surgery. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he takes 2-3 months off and doesn't have the surgery. Or maybe he does, because I think if you have back surgery, it's probably a year, 8 to 12 months.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think Seth is getting to WrestleMania 40. That's the goal.
That is all I got on my run sheet, man. You got anything else you want to talk about? I see some Carlito news here. I see some WWE back in Saudi on November 4th news here. What else you got?
Well, I mean, we could talk about Carlito. We talked about Edge. I mean, Carlito, the rumor is that he's been signed since July. And if that's true or not, so be it. How do you use Carlito right now? I use him in the LWO where they turn on Ray. Santos and Carlito turn on Ray.
That's a good start. I keep forgetting Ray's the United States champion. I was going to say let's have Carlito go after the United States championship. He would have been perfect to take the belt off of Austin Theory, but we're well past that. I think that works. I really do. The thing is, I like Carlito as a babyface. I think him coming in as a babyface and staying a babyface is great because he got an incredible reaction in Puerto Rico. I was lucky enough to call his match against Cardona at Haga a couple of months ago, and he got a fucking unbelievable reaction. I don't know. I mean, LWO probably makes the most sense.
Yeah, I would agree. The other thing I have for you that I want your opinion on, which I'm sure you'll talk about at length tomorrow because we're going to find out who's in it. But if you have the pencil here, AW Grand Slam, the Eliminator Tournament is tomorrow for the world title. Who is in this tournament?
Well, how many people do we have? 8? Jesus Christ. Well, Roddy's in it. Samoa Joe, I feel like, has to be in it after shoving MJF. Adam Cole, we know, is going to be in it.
3. I agree with all those so far.
I
I go Ricky Starks, it's 4.
Ricky Starks, yes. I put Jay White in there.
5. I think you have to put some former champions. Kenny, maybe Danielson.
Maybe. I mean,
Mox. Mox just won the international championship. So maybe you keep Mox off that.
I don't know. This Kenny
Jericho?
Well, Jericho's in a tag team with Sammy, so I don't think it'll be Jericho. And Ken.
I think the main event's on now.
Quick squid.
Hold on.
Let's hear.
Oh, period. Everything that they did on NXT today, I was a fan of.
These are the other podcasters on this show. We got Denise Salcedo, Joe Cronin, Argo,
we didn't talk about that. That was an unbelievable match, and that just proved that you need those two guys on television more and more. And CJ is with Miro, and they got something going on there. Which,
Oh wait, hold on.
Darby and Nick Wayne.
Nick Wayne is in the tournament.
Well, might as well just end the video. I made this video long enough. Hit that like button, leave a comment. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'll be back with more. Thank you for watching.